Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up using code Hawkeye and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, and the best daily promotions in the business. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matters more than ever. Remember to use code Hawkeye and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Place your money line, prop, or parlay bets with the king of sportsbooks today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Iowa only. New customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
No music, no intro, emergency pod, hashtag Saints Twitter pod. Ryan and I are back. Like we had to discuss this with time left before the Monday Night Football game tomorrow night. It comes out today that Michael Thomas is out for the game tomorrow, so he's not playing, and it's not injury related. And so we were like, wait, what's going on? I was like, oh, did he get like, my first thought was he either got the Rona or he got suspended. And then it came out that he did get suspended. And it's like, and then what did he get suspended for? Okay, so there was an altercation with the teammate. Okay, what type of altercation? Like it was like literally like piece by piece, it just unraveled out. So it finally breaks that he gets into a fight and he threw a punch, and they were like, okay, who was it? And I was like, man, if it was Pete, like that's fine. Just concuss him. Like it's fine. Like we're okay with that. But it wasn't Pete. It was Sadie Deuce, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who Mike swung at. And it's funny because like the whole sentiment on Saints Twitter after it was revealed or like who it was like, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
When I first saw it, I was like, oh, okay. Now I see what happened.
Like it's just so we'll get into it, but the way I see it is that you have two alpha dogs, and we've talked about this. Like the Saints have been missing alpha dogs on the team for a very long time before Mike Thomas came, and then obviously other players came. But I remember me and you talked about it. It was a Saints game that the Saints played against the Seahawks, and I think it was maybe Mike's rookie season. And like we just saw something. We were just like, he's a dog. Like,
yeah, yep.
And that was like 2000, whatever it was, 2017, 16, 2016. And we were just like, man, like the team has sorely been missing this type of presence. And then we saw what Chauncey Gardner-Johnson did his rookie season. Bombastic. Oh, look at me, SAT word. Just a very bombastic player, plays with confidence. You can easily tell that he gets into the head of opposing offensive players, just like Mike Thomas gets into the head of opposing defensive players. So you have a recipe.
It's funny we had the same comments about him last year. Like,
yes.
Yeah, he a little dog, you know what I'm saying? You just see it.
So you get those type of personalities together, and then So here's my first question I want to ask you is like think about where the Saints are. Like we talked about on the previous show when we previewed the game, right? We talked about the team can go 3-2 into a bye. All signs were indicated that Mike Thomas was going to play. Like, how bad was the fight or punch or whatever it was that he's suspended a game? Like a game.
I don't think I've ever seen this before.
Not from the Saints.
Not from the Saints, but like even other teams, like maybe Bill Belichick sitting down. What's the cornerback in the Super Bowl? The guy we almost signed.
Malcolm Butler.
Malcolm Butler. Him sitting him down. That's like the only thing I could think of where it's just like.
But even that was like what, like a half?
No, he set him the whole game.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right.
Kind of cost him too. But anyway, it's just like you just don't see that much, especially. I mean, it sounded from what Alt Breer was reporting.
Alt Breer.
Alt Breer got the heat. Mike Thomas, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? He got the.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But it sounded like it was red zone period in practice. Those are kind of known to be pretty intense third down in red zone.
Those are chippy as it is.
They're chippy, and I mean, you had two dogs going against each other, I assume. And from what Al Bree reported, there were like 5 series where they just kind of really got after each other, going back and forth. Then eventually, Mike Thomas took a swing and hit CeeDee Deuce, and CeeDee Deuce apparently had a helmet on. So it's kind of one of those things we kind of see all the time in like training camp. Like I don't know, it's like,
but like it's just weird. Like I guess I'll look at it like, what type of message is Sean sending? Like, I guess he felt like he needed to send some type of message by sitting Michael Thomas down in terms of just holding him accountable.
Yeah. And I'm sure, I mean, it was said that like Mike Thomas wasn't very apologetic about it. He just was kind of in his feelings about it. And I don't know, man. Like as far as messaging, I think it has more to do with a culture thing, a team culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like an overall look, we are 2-2. What's this? 2-2.
2-2.
Started off struggling. We all like every single part of the team needs to improve, and we just can't have this. Like we can't have the 79 teams where there's fights in the Saints locker room and poor Streif, I ain't gonna mention, just all kind of mess that went on. I think Sean Payton is just trying to put the clamps down right now and say, look, we're not going to have none of that.
It's more like he's trying to nip it in the bud.
Nip it in the bud early, like, look, anybody can get it. Drew Brees, Mike Thomas, don't care about your contract. Don't care. Like, we're not playing. But still, it still surprises me because it's just like competitive. It's like a fight. It's competitive fire. I was assuming, I thought he violated the COVID-19 policies or something like that. I was thinking of something like that, but I don't know, fight during practice, it surprises me. I just put it like
it that. Is. And like I keep thinking like we weren't there, obviously, but that must have been like a really bad and like you said, it may not even been like the actual fight itself or the punch thrown. Also, although Mike Thomas taking a swing out of play with his helmet on is real dumb. But anyway, just dumb. But that said, I think you hit on it. If Mike Thomas truly wasn't apologetic or had any type of remorse for what he did, like that's not going to fly. Like it's not. Like and think
like
about
at least give the Tupac and Juice hug. When he hug old boy, he's just like, yeah, we all good. Like at least give that. But I'm just thinking Mike Thomas. Mike Thomas is just a weird dude. Like the way he wired, I'm sure he was probably lit. And
yes,
it was. I'm just saying it had to be enough to create this type of response because you just don't see this happen. Like you just don't see it. Especially like Mike Thomas. It's not like, what I'm saying? It's not Ken Crawley or nobody. It's Mike Thomas. You know what I'm saying?
And think about like I won't say dysfunction because I feel like that's a little hyperbolic, but You have the whole stuff with Drew, Yahoo Finance, the knee thing in the offseason that set like a weird vibe, what have you, in the locker room. The team bounces back from that. They rally together, bond together, blah, 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 sing kumbayas, whatever. And then now you have this, and I don't know if it's like the expectations that the team maybe had going into the season, but I feel like the locker room is, keep in mind, they're 2-2. Like, they're not 0-4, but like, it's tense. Like,
I think you could tell it's tense. Like, even if you like look at the Saints, pressers and all, you can just tell it's just like they're not having fun right now. You can just tell. Yeah, so you could just tell that it's just a tense, stressful situation in that locker room. I mean, imagine just dealing with the whole COVID-19 thing. That alone is just stress on top of playing actual NFL football, which is already an intense, stressful sport. Then you're this team that everybody is picked as the best, best roster in the NFL, shooing for the Super Bowl, blah blah blah, has ended each season with disappointing losses. So there's a monkey on a lot of those dudes' back, man. It's cool to the coaches. You know what I'm saying? Sean Payton feeling it too. And
it's not as drastic as the analogy I'm going to make, but Bill O'Brien, like, yelling at JJ Watt before he got fired, like, he was feeling the heat.
Stress, bro.
Stress.
Stress something, man. And we know how Sean Payton is when he's stressed, bro. Like,
he presses.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we saw it with Delvin Breaux during the 7-9 season. Like, he presses.
Right. So, I mean, what this move means, whether to judge it as a good move or bad move, I mean, it's impossible for me to say. I'm just surprised from it. It just surprises me.
It is, because here's the thing, and you already know what's going to be like. Imagine if they come out on Monday and offense is flat.
Oh.
And then, you know how Mike is sometimes. Is he going to tweet something during the game when he's, what I'm saying? Like, it just has a recipe to, it could only go one or two ways. It could go well. They come out Monday, they win, they beat the Chargers, they go into their bye, and they can get, reacclimated or what have you. Or if they lose, or it could go south very quickly.
I also wonder if it was who pushed for this? Like, was it just Sean Payton or the coaching staff?
I could also see it being the defense.
Yeah, or was it the defense, or was it kind of like a players coalition, kind of like the Ravens with Earl Thomas?
Earl Thomas, yeah.
They just, they got him out. The players basically pushed to get him out of there. Now, obviously, it's not that drastic with Mike Thomas, but maybe, it's possible that the leaders of the team got together and was like, look, we can't have this. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So maybe we'll find out more going forward as insiders start talking to people and try to get some more insight. But it's, obviously it's a loss for the Saints, but the Saints have been, functioning without Mike Thomas for a couple of weeks. So, but I'm thinking they went into this game as early as yesterday thinking with a game plan they were going to have Mike Thomas on the team, and now you got to switch that up immediately.
So, like the whole, not the entire game plan changes, but it does change.
Yeah, it changes. Yeah, so Traquan got to hurry up and be like, okay, I got to put my big boy shoes on again. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-oh.
So,
well, I guess it's funny too because like the nothing that the Saints can do surprises me at all.
Nothing.
Like, I saw it today and I was like, yeah. whatever. Like,
always some shit, bro.
Always, bro.
This thing.
Can't be normal. Do you have, so before we move on and just talk about like stuff around the league, or we're gonna hit the Falcons, cleaning house, any other thoughts about the Chargers game, Monday Night Football, before we move on?
Well, something we forgot to mention on the last pod, I don't know if you mentioned, but I know I didn't, was Ramczyk, how important it is, and it looks like he's going to be full go for this game. So just having him back is
huge.
Like, probably was the one of the bigger losses last week, and to have him come back is like, whew, you know what I'm saying? Like, Deontay Harris is going to be out. That's, it sucks. I don't know, is he going to be out or is he questionable? I can't remember.
He is out.
I think he's out. Yeah, he's out. So him being out sucks, but you get over it.
We got the
Ramczyk, man. Oof.
Yeah, that's huge.
I've seen enough Greenleaf. Bro.
Greenage, the spinach. It don't matter. Like, I don't want to see him on the field, bro.
I don't want it.
The run plays weren't working. He almost got Drew killed. Like, nah, man. You you get Greeny out of there. That's huge. And something that a point that I didn't want to make, and I didn't make it. I kind of forgot to, is something to look for when the Saints are on defense. Obviously the Chargers probably going to use a lot of Joshua Kelly with Austin Eckler being out. Joshua Kelly has a known fumble problem, so look for, and I'm sure obviously coaches, what they know in terms of tendencies for players in any sport, it's absolutely fucking insane of like their knowledge. So I'm sure the Saints defensive coaches and all that know that fumbling has been a bit of a problem for Joshua Kelly. Don't be surprised to see if the defense heavily go after the ball when he's carrying it and try to look for turnovers and causing him to fumble. But all that said, the game plan does change, but again, like we've seen what the Saints can do without Mike being in the lineup. You just got to hope it goes well with him not being in there, man. Because if the offense is sluggish and they're not moving the ball and it's one of those type of games, I can already see the tweets coming out, and it's gonna nah. All right, so let's touch on the Falcons. As of like a couple, like maybe 30, 40 minutes ago, cleaned house. Dan Quinn gone. Thomas Dimitroff gone. I said this on the last show. I get bashing the Falcons. I get it. I truly do. But as a Saints fan, you want them to win a game or two. You do.
Right.
You don't want them picking number one overall. We don't want that smoke. So first of all, like, what are your thoughts of them cleaning house? And a second question, like a follow-up question, is the future of Matt Ryan is real murky right now.
Yeah, man, it's interesting up in Falcons land, bro. Like, look, I take pride in laughing at the Falcons, clowning the Falcons as much as possible. But during times like this, I try to keep a serious, unbiased outlook on the team. Because it's just a team that's at the lowest point you could possibly be. You know what I'm saying? So, well, maybe not as low as 28-3, but anyway, they're at that low point where they don't know what the future looks like, and it's like, where do you go from here? I mean, we knew Dan Quinn was out of there. Like,
knew it.
He unless they had a miraculous turnaround this season, he was going to be out of there. And there was already talk about Dimitroff pretty much being tied with Dan Quinn. If Dan Quinn goes, Dimitroff too. So, but Dimitroff being out of there is like huge. He drafted Matt Ryan. He's the architect of the turnaround. I mean, say what you want about the Falcons, but they've had the most successful run under him that they've had in their franchise in their franchise history. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like Saints getting rid of Loomis. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing.
Which is crazy if you think about it.
Right. And just to think they were literally in the Super Bowl 4 years ago. 3 years ago, kind of 3.5 years ago, up 28-3, ready to win the championship. And a couple of years later, it's all blown up, and they don't know where it's going to go. It just kind of shows you, just like, man, NFL, like, it's just crazy.
Crazy, man.
Shit can turn around quick, man. Shit can get dark quick. Because they had the 28-3. Then they had the next season, which they weren't terrible that next season. They went to the playoffs. They played Philly.
They played Philly and the Julio slip or drop or whatever.
Yeah, the Julio drop. And if he caught that, they would have been in the NFC Championship game. So I mean, and then after that, it's just been all downhill. So it's like, what are they doing? And Thomas Dimitrov, I mean, you can look at his drafts; they have not been good at all.
Terrible.
That's the major key. Like, listen, when looking at the Falcons these last couple of years, it's kind of reminded me of the Saints '79 run.
Yes,
they kind of had to. They just had to deal with the failures that they made in the draft and in free agency. You had to deal with it, and what the Saints did going through that, they at least kind of learned from it. They brought in Jeff Ireland. They completely revamped the scouting department, revamped the front office. Didn't get rid of Ryan Pace, but let him go to greener pastures.
Thank God.
You know what I'm saying? They brought in new, good, smart, young position coaches. They just, they did everything you needed to do. With Dan Quinn, it's like, dude, you cut your teeth on defense. You're supposed to be a great defensive coordinator. And the large problem of this whole run has been the defense.
They've gotten worse every season. And you can't blame injuries. We all deal with injuries. I guess it just has not been good. And, partly blame that on just talent. And that goes on to Dimitrov. That's why they both out the door. So, I mean, we could go down the line, like Tack McKinley, took in the first round, hasn't panned out. Like the only player I can think of that right now is Grady Jarrett that they drafted, who, like, Deion Jones, who's playing like crap and is a headhunter. He had a couple of first 2-3 good years. Now he's who's the player that they draft, the safety that's always hurt?
O'Neal.
Keanu Neal, same thing. Like he's hurt. Like it's the defense. Like it's the defense that's completely let them down. Like I was watching some of the red zone highlights and I was like, dang, Todd Gurley's actually accelerated around the outside. I was like, and here's the thing. If you've known me and you've listened to my, my podcast history, I've always had an affinity for Todd Gurley. So like watching him last week split, like run to the outside and it was looking like in mud, like it broke my heart. I was like, man. But like I saw him today, I was like, okay, like he still got some juice in him. I wasn't cheering for. I'm always a Todd Gurley fan. Like I've always been a big, ever back in Georgia. But the Falcons find themselves in a crossroads because, I was reading that for them to get rid of Matt Ryan, they would take on, and this is from Sports Track on Twitter, who tried to get on the podcast, but he never responded to me into my DMs. But anyway, it would cost them $50 million in dead cap space.
Ooh.
50 mil if they were to get rid of Matt Ryan. They can't get rid of him. They can't. Like you can, like, even Mickey Loomis and whoever else in the Saints, front office and their jujitsu, what they do with the salary cap, you could not figure out how to maneuver that. You can't.
Ooh, man.
50 million.
And they are stuck with him. But, look, it's not like Matt Ryan. I mean, come on. Saints fans, I know Matt Ryan's a bum. But, like, just step back for a minute, unbiased, you could do a lot more, much worse than Matt Ryan as your quarterback. But he is getting older.
He is.
And you might be drafting very high.
Yeah, right now they're drafting top 3. So even if they don't get Trevor Lawrence, they may be able to get Justin Fields. And here's a thought that I was thinking, and this is just a pure spitball type of conversation. Drew retires in the offseason, regardless of how the season ends. And let's say the Falcons do want to get Matt Ryan. As a Saints front office, like, are you thinking about that? Like, would you think about that? Like, we had the discussion with Dak, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I know it sounds like, blasphemous to even say that, but I don't know. I don't even know how that would even happen, if it would be like some type of trade or whatever. Yeah. But you could, obviously the person, the fan in me says, just go with Jameis, sign him to a small contract or a short contract and see what you have in Jameis for a year or two. But I don't know. I feel like you said, you could do a lot worse than Matt Ryan as your quarterback, especially if he has, pieces around him. I don't know.
And Sean Payton coaching?
Come on, man. It's not. I literally was watching the Falcons game today and was like, Matt Ryan as a Saint next season, would that be terrible? And I know, people will be in my mentions, and
it's so blasphemous, though, man. I feel dirty thinking about it. I feel dirty, bro.
I get it. I feel like Saints Twitter is gonna become a vigilante and come burn me in the house like I'm Freddy. Listen, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just thinking about the future, because we have to, unless the Saints position themselves in a position that they're going to draft a young quarterback, or unless they're going to go with Jameis. I'm sorry. If you're listening to this podcast, Taysom ain't it. I'm telling you right now, no. Taysom is not it. That whole pipe dream is gone. So let's let that go. So I'm just speaking for the future. And obviously it would be a short-term fix, right? Obviously he's older or whatever. But I'm just saying, Matt Ryan, Saints weapons, in the Sean Payton offense, you could do a lot worse for your situation. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you could. But, man, that would just be – Saints fans would need, therapy. Just to – how much we bagged on Matt Ryan, and then to flip and have to root for him as your quarterback, you know what I'm saying?
That's business, man.
It would take some therapy, bro. It would take some therapy, man.
It's funny. It's a weird analogy, but if you're a wrestling fan, sometimes you go from cheering a wrestler who's your favorite, and they become the bad guy or whatever, and you go to hate. Yeah. It happens. I'm just saying, man, it happens.
I would put it at about a 5% chance of it ever happening.
It's a very low chance. Again, $50 million.
Especially if it had to require a trade.
Oh, there's no chance. There's no way.
No way they'll send them to the Saints. No way.
There's no way.
Because Arthur Blank, he hates the Saints. He hates them. Can't stand them. This rivalry runs deep, man. It's not a joke. They literally can't stand each other. So I know Sean Payton would he would definitely take Matt Ryan. And
I don't think he would even think twice about it.
Wouldn't think twice about it. He'd do it just to spite the Falcons.
he would do it oh, I'm going to take the quarterback that you had and go win a Super Bowl with him just to rub it in your fucking face.
Yes, that's Sean Payton.
That's the type of energy he's on, bro.
And you know what? If he rocked like that, boy, I would be 100% with it.
So I texted you about it earlier. About the whole thing went down with Dak today. Yeah, the worst case scenario for him as a player, as a person, because that's always the risk, right? When you're playing on the franchise tag,
that's the risk.
That's the risk, is injury.
You saying you betting on yourself. You betting on yourself, and he lost.
Ankle compound fracture.
Oh,
Surgery already happened. It's happening tonight. He's going to be out for the season. And just talk about a person. Fuck talking about him as a player, as a person that's just been through a lot. His brother commits suicide this year. Yeah. He gets into a depression during the offseason, what have you. He speaks out about depression. He speaks out about mental health issues, and he's like lambasted by fucking Skip Bayless. Yeah. And listen, I'm speaking about this as a black man who's also a social worker. And in our culture, it is viewed as still in 2020 is viewed as taboo.
Yeah.
To speak about mental health in the black community.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for him to have the courage to speak about what he was experiencing took a lot of fucking courage. And then he gets fucking shat on, which was bullshit about it. And then today, so he's had what, four games where he's putting up 450 yards. He's trying to will the fucking Cowboys to wins. His defense is playing like hot garbage. Like even like past Saints defense were like, damn, y'all are bad. Like
Jared Jones, like, damn, you couldn't win the game.
Yeah, like and then Joey Jones is like, well, you see this play he didn't make, like that what separates him from Patrick Mahomes. It's like, yo, what the fuck more do you want from him? And keep in mind, I am from Texas. I cannot stand the Cowboys. Can't give two shits about them. They're the team I hate the worst out of all of football. But that said, for what happened to Dak today is just fucking terrible. And then the question is, what do the Cowboys and Dak do at the end of the season?
That is like, man, that is going to be such a huge story next offseason, bro. Like, that's going to be huge.
Huge.
What do they franchise tag him again? What's the tag going to be? Like 40-something million? And then you talking about a shrinking cap?
I don't know, man.
So then you just let them walk. You just let them walk, which is the gamble that the Cowboys have played themselves.
Are they going to just roll with the red rifle next time?
Red rifle. Red rifle hit Gallup up the sideline, boy.
You know, we gonna see 2015 Andy Dalton but I don't know, man. It's a super interesting subplot to the season. I feel for Dak, man. I truly feel for him.
Yeah, it sucks, bro. It sucks. But he bet on himself. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch football today, much of it anyway. How did it happen? Did he get hit or what is it?
I didn't watch a lot of the afternoon games. I had went to like Target with my daughter and whatever, and so I just saw about it on Twitter. It was just a play. But I guess it was. I mean, keep in mind, like it was an ankle injury so bad that like the cart came out. Like he was on the cart.
Oh man.
Like that's and the fact that he had surgery tonight on it, they didn't wait to do surgery, tells you like how serious that ankle injury is. So it just sucks, man. It sucks all around. But anyway, I mean, I think we call up everything. Anything. We just saw the Seahawks completely just come back against the Vikings.
Yeah, it's been it's crazy, like a crazy day. I mean, the Raiders beat the Chiefs.
Man,
like, what? Like they hadn't beat them in I don't even know when. It's been years.
It's been a long time. So and I tweeted it. John Gruden's coaching his ass off, man.
Oh yeah,
coaching.
I watched some of the game and I was like, damn.
And I think what you saw is when you're a team facing the Chiefs, and I know they haven't been like their dominant selves or whatever, but when you're a team that's facing the Chiefs, when you stop them on defense and you get them to punt, if you don't go down the field and score touchdowns, you're not beating them. You're just not beating them.
And you could tell the Raiders made a point of that today. Like they had Ruggs, like they must have practiced hitting Ruggs today because he was cooking. Derek Carr was cooking. I mean, it was. I was like, damn, like
it's funny too because
huge win.
Huge win. And a lot of Saints fans are taking solace that it makes losing to the Raiders feels a little better, even though that's a game they still should have won. Like, come on now. But that said, I will just getting to the point of Ruggs. It's very funny to me that if you read or whatever, follow Nick Underhill's work, the one wide receiver that the Saints were going to trade up for in the draft was going to be Henry Ruggs, which is great. And obviously you don't draft a player for right now, you draft him for the future. But I'm thinking of him as a player. I have no idea how he would have been useful in the Saints offense this year.
I'm just imagining them balls just dying like ducks. They're just falling.
I just see Drew trying to put everything into it like he's Phillip Rivers.
Raindrops will fall.
I have no idea what Ruggs' role in our offense would have been, bro.
He would just been running posts, just clearing out.
He would have been the new Brandon Cooks, bro. He would have demanded a trade.
They've been trying to wide receiver screens and all that shit.
That's it, bro. Just run a deep over. Just
that was crazy. Then,
huge win.
What else happened? Dolphins smacked the shit out the 49ers.
Ooh, bro, Jimmy.
I saw Garoppolo play some. Was he injured or was that like the plan to just kind of play him a little?
No, he started and he looked terrible. Like what? just was making.
They pulled him.
They pulled him, benched him. But Kyle Shanahan tried to say they're trying to make. I saw that they were trying to make excuses for him, we could tell something wasn't right with Jimmy, so they pulled him at halftime. But what I saw, just as a person who knows football, is I don't think it was anything to do with his ankle injury. He was just making terrible fucking decisions and just making bad throws leading to interceptions. And whatever you have, obviously that's going to be their starter going forward. There's going to be a quarterback controversy, but that was ugly. And then can we talk about Alex Smith and all this hoorah, this ticker tape parade? Oh, he's starting.
I can't believe he made it back. Oh my God.
As a fan, I have no horse in this race, and I am terrified for this fucking man and here you have Aaron Donald, who is just destroying Alex Smith, and then you see him on the sidelines. His leg is strong.
See, that motherfucker leg strong, boy. That shit had me dying, bro. I saw that shit. I was weak. I said, I'm dead, man.
And I know people were like, oh, disgusting. Oh, maybe it's just the dark humor in me. That shit was hilarious. I don't care.
I was cracking up, bro.
The Browns seem to be for real. They go 4-1.
What?
They go 4-1. They beat the Colts. And then I watched some of the plays from the Bengals Ravens game. Man, that
looked bad.
Can Joe go back to the draft and just pull an Eli and just don't draft me? Just Bengals, don't do it.
Oh man,
I want to go somewhere.
He is in such a bad situation.
And my concern for him, speaking of Alex Smith, is I hope he doesn't become like early career Alex Smith, where Alex Smith was just on terrible teams, different coordinators, bad offensive lines. He just developed really shitty, bad habits. And it wasn't until he got with Jim Harbaugh until he finally was able to kind of break free from that. Man, like,
and you can see it. Like you can see Zach Taylor getting fired at the end of the year or something.
Yep, sure can.
And you just keep going through the motions, just trying to figure out, and then you like, or you like Sam Darnold, where you like, okay, what do we really have here? Oh man, it sucks. That's why, as much as teams want to tank for whoever or try to get the number one overall pick, which yes, that's your best chance at getting the quarterback you want, picking number one overall, obviously. But I mean, just when you look at the trend of history and you look at all the, the good quarterbacks, you pick them at 11, you pick them at 13, you pick them in the top of the second round, you really just don't know. I mean, there's very few number one overall quarterbacks that have been great. It's just very few. Again, I'm not saying that just, correlation or causation, you know what I'm saying? It's like, not saying you just, if you pick number one, you guarantee not to have a great quarterback. No, I'm just saying picking a quarterback is hard as fuck. it's like hard. You just don't know. You just don't know because so many variables go into it. And what happens is usually the team that's picking number one overall is a shitty team. And not just shitty because they have a shitty quarterback, a shitty head coach or a shitty GM, like the franchise is shitty. And that just drafting a good quarterback doesn't change that. So, so somebody like Joe Burrow, he's in a tough situation because they're hoping he just completely remakes the franchise when the Bengals been a shitty franchise for decades, all my life, longer than that. I can't hear you.
It's been a trend. It's been a trend of how bad the Bengals have been. So, we've hit on a lot of topics. We can fucking talk about football all night, but we're not going to do that. But we'll be back tomorrow night recapping Monday Night Football. Can the Saints just not embarrass us? Can they win and just not embarrass us? I'm tired of getting embarrassed on primetime games. I really am.
Man, give me a nice, 31 to 20. No. I mean, 31 to 21. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Maybe it's a nice battle for 3 quarters. Then in the 4th quarter, Saints, hold the lead and they take a knee and the game's over. Man, that's all I want. I don't need no blowout. I don't need none of that.
Yeah, that Lions game was pretty nice. The Lions game was nice.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we're recapping a win. We're nice and loosey goosey and all that. I'm watching the Dak play right now. It was on it was a quarterback. Oh fuck, that looked nasty. It was like a quarterback draw play. Oh, that looks fucking terrible. We just be loosey goosey and just talking about, going to the bye and talking about fucking the Panthers, who the Saints play after their bye, who are 3-2. Teddy Two Gloves out here slinging that thing.
Teddy B, ouch, boy.
Ouch, just slinging it.
I'm happy for him.
For sure. But with that, we just wanted to do a quick. We wanted to make it quick, but probably went a little longer. Emergency podcast, talk about the fight. Talk about Falcons, all that, get you guys caught up. Again, our goal is to make this a permanent, sustaining thing. Also, we have an Instagram. So it's a slow process. We just created it this weekend. So if you want to follow us on Instagram, it's at Saints Twitter Podcast. I know it's lengthy, but it's a name for our fucking podcast. Like, you can figure it out. So follow us on Instagram at Saints Twitter Podcast. We will start posting content on the Instagram page. We're going to start posting snippets. We're going to start if we're talking about certain plays or things like that. Hopefully, we'll be able to get we got to be careful because the NFL shut that shit down. But we will try to get creative. What do we try to do in putting more content on social media, Instagram, Twitter, whatever? We're here. We're here for you guys. We're doing this for our Patreons. So shout out to all our subscribers, all our Patreons, all our listeners. We really appreciate you guys. We appreciate the support as always.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
All right. With that, we're out.
Peace.
Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up using code Hawkeye and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, and the best daily promotions in the business. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matters more than ever. Remember to use code Hawkeye and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Place your money line, prop, or parlay bets with the king of sportsbooks today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Iowa only. New customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.